Hello, Aries. Welcome to Karma on Deck. I'm Karma. This is your weekly reading for the sign of Aries for July 19th. So let's take a look and see what this upcoming week for you guys is looking like. This is going to be your Aries sun sign reading, and then we'll do your moon. Back. Oh, buddy. Been nudging me all day. Knock anything over. All right, first thing is the Hermit. So that tends to tell us that there's a little bit of isolation that's going on, or you're feeling secluded somehow. That energy is going to shift for you and change. You're working toward building a foundation on some of your probably home or business. There's definitely some balance coming your way, indicated by the Two of Cups. The Seven of Coins is in play. There's a little bit of, I don't know if this is self-criticism, but we have this here, Three of Wands. And the Three of Wands likes to bring awareness to the fact that people are either giving us criticism or we're feeling as if there is, people making their opinion known about our behavior, or and it isn't even necessarily something. If you were sharing it with someone, they may just see something and decide that they should issue you a dissertation on what they think you should be doing. They don't have all the moving parts, so how would they know, right? And that's also sitting here with the Two of Wands. It's causing you to doubt yourself a little bit. And what I mean by doubt is not necessarily wondering if you're screwing up, but just maybe wondering, if you don't have enough information. And that's a technique that I use often. I say, honesty is only brutal if you don't like what you hear. If you don't like what you hear, listen twice. Because is it true? Is it making you uncomfortable because there's an element of truth? Is it? Or are you self-aware enough to allow the input coming from other individuals to serve you? Like, are they telling you something that's true? Are they telling you something that, that you need to bring to your awareness? Like, hey, you're coming off like a bitch. Do you realize that you being so short-tempered has everybody walking on eggshells all around you? Or is it, you're being more direct than people are used to, and you're perfectly fine with that because they're not listening otherwise? And what I mean by that is there's often times, when I was a paramedic, there was different ways that I would engage with patients depending on their presentation. Okay, sometimes I could tell that they just need to be up in their face and be like, listen, you're not going to make it to the hospital unless you allow me to do this treatment, or you're not going to make it if I leave. Because some people are like, no, I don't need an ambulance, or I don't need you here. But I really had to draw the line in the sand and say, no, you do need me here. They don't like it, but it's true. So I feel like there's some of this that's happening for you, and you're asking yourself, but don't get stuck there. Like, don't get stuck in, analytical thought processes that are causing you to question yourself so hard. Like, self-awareness is great. It's great to take a look at it, but don't stay in that mode of listening to other people, because then you're just going to continue to be a Stepford and show up like the world wants you to. But there's nothing wrong with having a healthy awareness so that you're able to take in information unbiased, and whether it needs to be applied or not, based on its value. But I do see that, nobody likes to be criticized. I love coaching. It's not easy. I have a couple people that are coaches in my life that are partners, and it's extremely hard to have someone talking to you that is also aware and will call you out on your little things. I miss Brad. Brad used to tell me, you don't get a shit day, you get a shit hour. Like, work it out within an hour. Man, that's hard. Not allowed to stay in your funk. But I do see the Seven of Swords, which is, life generally being slightly easier. It's like popping a balloon or the storm clearing finally, and things getting easier. I do see the Seven of Coins. That's you, possibly a move coming up for you, small relocation, not something major. Might even be moving rooms or offices or spaces like that. I do see some things are going to shift for you and move kind of quickly. I would mention, though, too, Three of Swords is misunderstanding, miscommunication. The literal meaning of Three of Swords has to do with, heartbreak if you don't communicate. It's got three swords in it. That means that no matter what direction you go, it feels as if things are going to be uncomfortable, right? So we have a little bit of that. We have the Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords delineates decision making and making the right ones. We have the Queen of Wands as well. And as I always say, that's a card that indicates you're, protecting your space, being active and moving forward on making decisions with, in respect to organizing things and taking care of the home and making sure that things that are done of a practical nature in an orderly fashion. But I wanted to mention that not only do we have the Seven of Swords, but we have the Temperance card. So no matter the miscommunication and the criticism and a little bit of indecision, I do see you making good decisions in this upcoming week. And I see Temperance, which is balance. So not only is the pressure about to bust and like break, it can't, I always say no storm stays over one house forever. And I think Maya Angelou is the one I got it from, where she said every storm runs out of rain eventually. I am seeing some shifting energy on that part, and the King of Swords tells us victory. So no matter how this all turns out, you're going to come out on top. Let's pull a card for you from my Mystic Dreamer deck and do your Aries moon reading for those of you that have Aries in their moon, or have an Aries moon. Let's look and see. Book your one-on-one Karma on deck. And if you want to get your readings a week early, pop onto my Patreon. There are some chapters going up from my book, Off the Beaten Path, and also Welcome to the Jungle, the series, video series that's going to be talking about common dating pitfalls and the new terms and things that are going on and how the thinking is and what people want to do. And there's Tarot 101, a 6-week class. A lot of people didn't want to fork over the money for a 1-hour personal session, so we just spread it out. So you get 6 hours for the hour price, and you can come on there and actually have some dialogue. Not everybody's on the same page, but I'm going to give you some tips and tricks. So try that. There is a spot where you can do a deposit for when the class does open. Let me know. So karmaondeck.com, get your personal reading there. And this is your Aries moon. Hermit card. So this is going to tell you, so usually between my sun or my, sun and moon readings, I see a congruency between the general spread and the moon reading. And you have the Hermit card. First position, first card, same card in both readings, which is interesting. So your house, the place you're coming from, is isolation. So the other aspect of the Hermit card is data. So you're gathering data. And if you look very closely at the elements within this card, you've got the Tree of Life, you've got scrolls, which is ancient wisdom. You have books of knowledge, a magnifying glass, lights, staff. You have an old wise man and a bridge, which the bridge represents knowledge. There's lightning in the background that talks about boom, awareness is an aha. So as he's like taking this time out, he's using that time for his benefit. There's two aspects. There's a positive and there's a negative. But if you think of what a hermit or a monk does, or, somebody that goes into deep meditation, perhaps this is a time for you to start utilizing it for your benefit and your greater good. You have the Death card, which is stark change or rapid change or sudden, something that's rebirthing, becoming anew, something's going away. You also have the Three of Swords. That's another card that's congruent between your two readings. And that's like, pay attention to miscommunication. Don't go worrying too hard about how things are landing. You can only do what you can do, right? We have the Three of Wands, which is watching. So you're watching people, dude. Like Aries, are you watching people and getting overwhelmed? This also I'm not seeing the Three of Pentacles, which indicates social media. I wouldn't be recommending you get off of it, but you're paying attention to people. You're paying attention to the climate. You're paying attention to the politics. You're watching people. You're getting a little too overwhelmed. So perhaps the Hermit is your reminder to unplug a little bit, because you're seeing the same things happen over and over again, not thinking you have any power. You also have the Nine of Wands, which is fatigue. You're feeling betrayed. You're feeling as if, and then I guess a lot of bad habits are popping up for you. And this may be someone that you're in relationship with or the partners that you have in your life, because we have the Devil card. Now, the Devil card, like I've said before, and I'll tell you again, which it's lies, it's substances. A lot of times in a personal reading, if I'm talking about someone's partner, co-worker, or child, or someone that they're dealing with that they have a question about, Devil card will pop up, and I'm like, so are they partying a lot, or are they drinking a lot, or do they have a porn addiction where they're disconnected, or disassociated, or what's the word I'm looking for? When people check out, escapism, bad habits like alcohol or gambling, or those are some of the things that are coming up. So if you're choosing to slip back into some of those bad habits, now bad habits for me, escapism, dude, like when I feel I'm not motivated at all, I've never had a TV in years. I mean, if I do, it's something that's not very used, but lately I've been seeking out something to watch so I can check out and detach. And I found myself wanting to do it more and more. And I've also been watching stuff I don't typically do. I was watching Hannibal, like Nightmares from Hannibal, like the show. What's the matter with me? I actually went in there and deleted it from access. So I don't want to watch that. I don't want to have those dreams and images in my head. But this is about habits, okay, or what's holding you back. And sometimes the devil card has to do with, someone oppressing us or the things that are not allowing us to expand. That could be another individual, that's holding us down, to deliberately not telling us what's needed. But we have the Hangman and the Four of Swords, which Four of Swords is my Snow White card. It has to be a perfect environment for you to come out and play. We have the Hangman. You've chosen to stay in this mode and make sure that things are Disneyland before you come out. But just make sure that you don't go into isolated behavior so much that you get depressed, because then you start feeling like a victim. And then, you start not talking to people and being authentic and open. We also see the Queen of Cups, which is deep emotions. I'm sorry you're going through this, Aries, but I do feel like you're trying to recalibrate where your energy is at. How you want to move forward is mostly what's on your plate right now, because we have this Three of Wands dead center right here. And the Hermit's a big card and a big player for you. Just remember, like I said, the Three of Swords is in play in both of your readings, and so is the Hermit. Use the best parts of that aspect for you. If there's a miscommunication, stop talking for a little while, or stick to one subject. Maybe the conversation's getting away from you. But the Hermit card and the Three of Swords are the two congruent readings. A lot of major cards going on for you, as per usual. We have a few, but these are just weight. So you're having this stuck energy when it comes to relationships and your emotions, and you're wanting that to shift. But remember what I said in the sun reading is you have these things will change and move kind of for you a little quickly. So there's where you sit for the week of the 19th, Aries. Let's pull a card from Divination of the Ancients and see what your message is. Like I said, subscribe, and share. Tell me where you are in the world and how you feel your reading went. Let's look at your card from your divination. Projection. Ooh, I love that one. You know what they say? Projection is perception. Like how you're viewing the world. If you're depressed, you're going to start seeing the world as a shit show. If you're feeling optimistic, I know that my moods have shifted significantly since I was deep in the matrix and now I'm working for myself. I don't have all of that same mentality that I did working for the man, so to speak. I was an EMS and I was a paramedic, so I saw the underbelly of mankind. The domestics, the violent shootings, the fights, the bars, and, gangs. I saw all of that. And, I still didn't lose some of my rose-colored glasses for the world, but there was times where I projected and anticipated bad behavior from people based on what I saw, based on my perception. And, like they say, perception is projection. Are you being the jerk, the road rage animal out there yelling at everybody? So when you walk into work with a bad attitude and go, everybody's an asshole? Or are you one with the negativity? Are you the one with that, outlook that's causing the water to be tainted a little bit? You can't clearly through it. So let's look and see what the Divination of the Ancients author had to say in the Scrying Mirror. I really do like reading these. I'm so glad that I've started doing this about a year ago. So, all right, so you currently desire something so strongly, your focus is completely blinkered. I love that. I'm gonna have to start using it. Your focus is blinkered, and you cannot see the pitfalls that might come from achieving your goal. The Scrying Mirror card reveals that your obsession for possession has blinded you to some negative aspects of your goal, like frustration at working too hard, or frustration at having obstacles in your way, or too much work, or too much of a timeline. It's vital to be completely clear about what you wish for, lest someone, including yourself, is harmed in the process of gaining it. Monitor your thoughts, train your brain, Karma's always saying, and words at every moment, as what you give out will come back to you. Threefold. Gaze long and deep within. Meditate, intending to truly understand your ambition. When you recognize that everything that happens is merely your projection, your focus will change. The reflection of the love in your heart will dazzle others and ultimately yourself. Your incantation for the week is, my heart is finally set free from thoughts of how I must have it be. Mirror, mirror, as I scry, I see my one true love, 'tis I. No truer words. I was having a conversation with my friend Martin the other day, back and forth. And I said, if people only realize that the best love affair you can invest your time in is yourself, people will start coming a little more whole to these relationships. I want to thank you for hanging out with me. I will catch you guys on the flip side. Like I always say, love is the answer to every question. Love on it, and you can come with the right answer. Fix all of this, guys. Thank you so much. I'll catch you on the flip side. I think I'm going to pop on here right after this. And we'll be doing... Gotta look. Sometimes they load out of order. I want to make sure you guys have it. So yeah, I am doing Taurus after this one. All right, kids. Be kind. Love on it. Have a good one.